All right, today we're going to take a little look into my life and how my life can be an example for you on just where your life can go. So, I'm 25 years old. Here we are in March of 2026. My life has taken a lot of turns, and it's usually when you least expect them. So, going back to high school, I was never good in high school, never good at school, never really tried though. And that's why, as much as I don't think I'm good at school or meant for school, I never tried. And I'm the type of person that if I am in it, I'm in it 1,000%. And if I'm not in it, it is a true struggle. I'm sure a lot of you guys feel the exact same way. You give your all to the things that you care about, the things that maybe interest you. Maybe they're your passions, right? But the things that sometimes you have to do that you don't want to do are the things that you struggle with. And I've learned through the first 25 years of my life on this planet that there are certain things you're going to have to do that you don't want to do. And that is probably the most important thing out of anything is understanding that you're going to have the things that you want to do, but more importantly, you have to do things that you don't want to do. And I'll explain that here because I always look at life as there's always mistakes that are made, things that you could have done differently, things that could have gone in a different direction in your life. And I think the best times of my life were when the worst things happened to me. And I think in today's video, we're going to really kind of go over just how bad things happening to you long term are going to be the best things for you. So I'll give a couple examples here. So, dropped out of college dropout right here. Got my 16, 17, 18 credits, whatever I got my 18 credits, and I called it a day. I was done with college, didn't graduate with a 2-year degree in liberal arts, couldn't even do that. And school was tough. And I wish I had known this stuff that I know now when I was younger. Um, Looking back, I don't think I missed anything in school, but that was a tough thing for me. And I went into a career now as a first responder that I didn't need to go to school, but that was a big shift. I went from someone that was a civilian going to school like everybody else, and all of a sudden throwing myself into the world's busiest 911 system. And that was a big shift for me. It was a big shift from just how my life was before to where it is today. And I think the the problems I faced in life, before I got this job, I had a plumbing job, got fired because they found out that I was going into the career I was going into, and they fired me on the spot. Got rid of me just like that. And that was tough. Um, Not someone that typically, gets emotional or cries or anything like that. I cried on the way home from getting fired that day. I called my dad, and that was a tough day for me because that income was gone. That skill I was learning was gone. And that day I would have told you that was one of the worst days of my life. But but I can also safely say the reason I got through that, the reason I was able to persevere through that was because that was not the first time something had gone wrong in my life. And when things go wrong in your life and it feels like this is the worst day ever, those are sometimes the turning point for the best things to happen. And now for the world, I almost feel bad for the world. The more challenge in the world that I have, the more terrible, horrible things that happen to me, the stronger I get. every time. Because once that first time you go through that ring of fire, when you really face adversity in your life, every time after that, if you're able to get through that first one, you remember what happened last time. Yeah, remember the last time I thought that the world was going to end and my life was over, and I could look back years from now and say that was the best thing to ever happen to me? All right, just pull up by our bootstraps and let's do that again. And I think for a lot of people, it's hard because, especially that first time that you really go through adversity, get fired from a job, get whatever happens, right? I'm just using that as a good example. You get fired from a job, that's a tough thing. That's a tough thing to deal with. And what I've noticed is a lot of guys older than me, they go to school, they get their job out of school, they get a house, they get married, they have kids, and everything kind of fell into place. And maybe they were secure and things didn't really go wrong. And then a recession hits or the business goes out of business, right? And now they're fired, unemployed, something like that, and their world blows up because they're 35, 40, 45 years old, and that's the first time something bad has truly happened to them. And the problem is when you have so much at stake now, you have a house mortgage, you have a wife, kids, you have so much at stake that the first time something goes wrong, you don't know what to do with yourself. And I can safely say at 25 years old, I think I've been through more trauma than a lot of guys older than me. Safely, I could say that. Not everybody. There's a lot of guys that go through trauma. But compared to a lot of people that I surround myself with, I've faced a lot of trauma. And the bags under my eyes prove it. I try to I try to use those whatever caffeine things to put under your eyelids to make them less baggy. Like, someone who's been through hard times and has been through some shit, you see it through their expressions. And I think you can't hide that. You can't pretend that. And if you look deep enough into my eyes, you could probably see it too. So I'm grateful for that. I'm grateful for all the horrible, terrible, traumatic things that ever happened to me. Because, to be honest with you, still at 25 years old, I don't have that much at stake. And the first time that something really bad happens in my life, as I continue to get older, I've already gone through this before. So every time something really bad happens in your life, once you get through that first time, you're going to be like, all right, here we go again. Back to the grind. Let's go. Let's get it. And the reason that happens is because you're going to be the most motivated you will ever be. Energy cannot be destroyed. Remember learning that in science? So this applies to real life, because when you're angry, upset, anxious, you have all this built up, all this stored up energy. You can't sleep at night. You're angry. You just want to punch the wall. That is when you can get the most work done. Because what else are you going to do? You have all this energy built up inside of you, just waiting for you to use it for the endless opportunities that are there for you. So if you're in that spot right now, you're in a really tough spot, you're in a really dark place, things aren't going your way, things aren't going right, I want you to know that I'm with you. I get it. I understand. You don't want to talk about it with people. I've gone through a lot of times with, this is probably the first time I've ever actually said really anything publicly to people about my hardships, because you just do it. You just find something, whether that's building a business, starting a YouTube channel, working harder, working more overtime, like to get over a breakup, work more overtime so you're not thinking about it, and you have all this pepped up energy. Use that for something good. Use that for something that you're going to look back 2 years from now and say, thank God that happened to me, because I'm better off today because of that thing that happened. And if that thing hadn't happened, I wouldn't have had the motivation to do what I did. And the last part of this, especially if it's something like a breakup or a job that you really hated, make sure you don't give too much credit to your enemies, because I don't remember who I listened to, but this kid got bullied in high school, and he looked back and he said, I can't wait till I'm bigger, stronger, a CEO of a company, and I could go back and say, I'm your boss now, and you do what I say for all the things you did to me. And he comes back at his reunion, and those guys are there. He says that, right? He got everything he wanted. And they look and say, so the reason you are successful, the reason you're bigger, stronger, the CEO, rich, was because of me? I'll take the credit. Thank you. Don't give them that satisfaction. Maybe it's a girl you broke up with. Maybe it's a girl who dumped you. Maybe it's a boss that fired you. Once you leave that, break it off completely and don't even think about them. Because if the reason you're successful was because of them, they're going to be the reason you were successful. Don't let that be the case. Yes, what happened was the best thing that ever happened to you, but don't give them the satisfaction or the credit for why you became what you did. Just become better because you need to become better. And see the outside world telling you need to be better as the sign for yourself that I need to do more. I need to be better. And once you flip it and turn it on its head like that, you're going to see a difference in the world. So to wrap up today's video, guys, the hard times are the best times in your life. Embrace it. Enjoy it. This is the best thing that ever happened to you. You don't see it now. You might not see it for another 6 months. You might not see it for another year. But that hard time you're going through right now, understand this will be the best thing that ever happened to you. And you're going to look back in the future, just like I do. You're going to look back at key pivotal moments in time of when things were really bad. You're going to end up remembering those as the best things to ever happen to you. Thank you guys for watching. Make sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe. I'll catch you guys next time.